Dear Dad, did you know something? We're moving again.
It started when I saw a Czech film actually called Kolja. That was the inspiration for this film. And I absolutely loved Kolja and thought that is the sort of film I want to make. I want to make a film with a child at the centre of it. And shortly after that I saw Shona Auerbach's short film called Seven, it was her student film in fact. She was at film school in Poland, and I was really blown away by this short. So I met her, and it just happened that she had also seen Kolja and loved it. So we set about finding something to develop together which had a child at the centre of it.
I was sent a samples of different writers' work because I wanted to collaborate with a writer on a project, and this was one of the scripts I was sent. It was a short 15-minute film, and I desperately wanted to make it into a feature.
Dear Frankie, here's another stamp for your collection. This one's a real beauty, the Queen Mary. They don't build them like that anymore.
Well, we've been working on the script for several years, and then Andrea, the writer, came up with the idea that Frankie should be deaf, which I thought was brilliant. I really loved the idea that he was deaf because I think that he had such a strong character, but he also had a very silent world as well, and it sort of all fell into place.
I play Frankie Morrison, who's a deaf kid, but people think he's quite stupid, but he's actually quite a smart cookie.
We'd seen probably about 100 boys, and Jack was one of the first. He was just someone I couldn't get out of my head. He's got all the characteristics of Frankie.
He has a kind of an inner strength. He's also quite a cool kid. He's a very intelligent boy. He's very independent. And we really felt that he would be able to stop Frankie from being a victim, which was incredibly important.
He played Frankie with such spunkiness, like a kid who, you know, just the fact is he's deaf, but he still goes about his life. He's great at school, he has friends, he has a great family, but there's issues with the family, as there are with every family.
He's hugely independent and very bright, and against adversity makes you kind of forget that he is deaf.
The brilliant thing about watching Jack was that he wasn't thinking about himself at all. He was completely connecting with the material. He was just putting himself in the situation. He was a sort of a natural method actor.
I had to learn sign language, and I had to learn how to talk like a deaf kid. When Frankie talks, it's quite hard to do the voice. I had to get a voice coach to help me with that. Some of the parts I liked most was Frankie's relationship with his mother. He's probably got the best relationship with her, and it's quite a very strong relationship.
I think it was the idea that she could lie to her son and she felt she was doing the right thing, and I think initially I loved the sort of the unconditional love.
It was important to me to cast someone who was very expressive and had a sort of lightness to them, because Lizzie could be rather earnest and long-suffering.
Being a one-parent family is a lot to deal with. The fact she's always on the run, always moving. She's got her mother to deal with because her mother's her conscience.
I felt that Emily had the intelligence to understand those dangers and the complexities of the character, and she really did bring all that intelligence to bear.
Of course he wants to see you. You might not want to see me, but he'll always want to see you. As a mother, I've realised that it's a constant battle to work out what the right thing to do is, and what are the right boundaries to draw, and what are the right moments to come clean about the world and how difficult it is and how harsh it can be. And so I can see how she's got herself into this terrible situation. I can completely sympathise as a mother.
Lizzie has made a decision in her life that she doesn't want anything more to do with men, and so I think when the stranger comes, she's got her barriers up and she just doesn't want to get involved in any way, and really the love story is that she can't help herself. He's irresistible.
The stranger a man that I know that I bring in to be Frankie's father for the day.
The stranger had to have all these characteristics. He needed to be a man, he also needed to be very sensitive.
I think he's a man full of a lot of solitude and full of, he has a lot of wisdom, but he's a bit of a loner, and there's very much a kind of, there's a wise but melancholy feel to the man, like he's been through a lot.
There were a lot of qualities that a lot of the actors had something but not everything, and it got to sort of breaking point actually where we were really desperate and we couldn't find anyone.
You know, when Jerry walked into my office, Shona and I kind of couldn't believe it really. I mean, we sort of cast him before he sat down. He was just perfect.
It was so instinctive that he was the stranger. I've never actually had that experience before with casting, but I mean, I'm quite an instinctive person, but immediately, I mean, he could have just gone at that point and I knew he was right.
He was sexy, mysterious, he was everything we needed, really. But we also felt that he had the emotion to make the scenes with the boy really work.
Casting the stranger isn't just about casting the stranger, it's also seeing how he's going to work with Emily and if we can believe them as a couple.
Whenever I get interviewed by a female journalist, I inevitably get asked the question, what was it like kissing Jerry Butler? And I take great delight in tormenting them by telling them I had to do it about 25 times because the director wasn't sure exactly what kind of a kiss, you know, she wanted for that. Gerard is just the sweetest man. He's incredibly generous as an actor, incredibly supportive and kind and bright and funny, and is adored by women the world over.
I think she's an incredible actress. There was never any ego, there was never any preciousness about anything, so the whole process between us was great fun and cool, and I thought we had a great chemistry on screen.
We were doing a scene out by the sea at night, and we didn't know each other very well. It was early on in the filming. We were up against it. It was late at night. It was freezing cold. They were threatening to pull the plug on the lights because everybody wanted to go home, and we had maybe 1 or 2 takes to get the scene done. And we walked along together along the front, and I turned to him and I said this speech.
Frankie wasn't born deaf. It was a present from his daddy.
This just look came over his face, this just sort of heartbroken, appalled look of total sympathy and love. And you know that thing in real life when someone feels really sorry for you, you end up feeling really sorry for yourself. You feel much more sorry for yourself than you did before, and it made me cry. It made me cry, just the look on his face at that moment.
I was very keen to capture a light and a look of Scotland, which I think is often neglected in films. I used some paintings from the turn of the century, who did these beautiful paintings with this lovely colour palette of muted colours. And that became our palette for the film.
You see what a wonderful job she's done in the more intimate situations between the kids, or creating the tightness and claustrophobia that Emily suffers when she has to try and find a dad. There's so many little moments of the way she captures that timeless feeling and that placeless feeling. I think she's done an incredible job.
But she's very helpful, and because she had children of her own, she knew how to deal with me.
Shona had a really clear vision of what she wanted, and I think that really shows in the film as well. It's a slice of life that everybody can relate to, and I think that it has an uplifting feeling to it.
It's about a mother's love and her wish to just try and protect her son against the hardships of life and the truths of life.
For me, it was such a passionate story that I fell in love.